Welcome back to Racing WA TV for the second here at Kalgoorlie. It's the TABtouch Handicap over 1,600 metres where Peter Fernie has his first favourite of this afternoon's program, Lucky Lily, an impressive last start winner.
And I'm going to go with Peter Fernie to win this race, but with the stablemate, no whispering. I thought here that Lucy Fiore was thrown a really good map to lead and dictate, pretty similar to how Mungo Jerry won race number 1. Just control until the corner, kick for home, and hopefully hold them off late. I'm hoping it can be 2 leaders against that local breeze that they're so scared of.
Exactly right. Now, that's something we're going to have to continue to monitor throughout this afternoon's program. But let's have a look at the horses in the yard before they leave the mounting yard. And the first horse we'll take a look at is Irritable Rodney for Neil Della and Zephyr Johnson Porter.
Who's here today having his 6th run for the preparation, and he has had a really good campaign as well. He was a winner here fresh over 1,300, and it was a dynamite last to first victory. They took him to town after that, and probably since then he's raced well without really threatening. He's finished a length and 3/4 off Debonair, who's had a really good season, finished 2 3/4 off Uncompromised, who we're looking forward to seeing on Saturday, and most recently comes through a sprint behind Colossal on Boulder Cup Day. Now out to the mile here will suit. Zephyr Johnson Porter keeps him back to a winnable weight. He's only got a small field. He'll probably settle 6th of 6, but he probably will be pulling to the outside and making his run at them late.
Here's the 2, no whispering. Scott's on topper for Peter Fernie and Lucy Fiore.
I just love the map here for this 5-year-old Lockie. He went to a mile 2 starts ago, led with 61 kilos and was game in defeat behind Secret Attraction, who's gone 2 from 2 and been very impressive since arriving here with Peter Fernie on the Goldfields. Last start went to 1,760 for the first time, carried 61.5. 1, probably the weight found him out, but 2, I don't think he ran out the distance. Back in weight, back in trip, only leader in a field of 6. Expect Lucy gets it quite cheap in front, and then hopefully at the top of the home corner, he might be just sailing away.
The 3 is 1 more for Leo, knocking on the door for Brett Drury and Brad Parnham.
And coming through the exact same last 4 races as No Whispering. So the pair of them have been in the exact same races for about the last 2 months, and there hasn't been all that much between them. And there's a couple of weight swings either way from recent performances. I thought the last start at 1,760 was really encouraging in the Secret Attraction race, and I'm happy to use that as the best form reference here. I think the Secret Attraction form can hold up.
Peter Fernie loves talking to me, and he loves being on 7+. Pete, dual-pronged attack here. No whispering. He's Scott's on-topper here in race number 2. Do you agree with him, or are you with the stablemate?
Scott hasn't got much idea, has he?
I wouldn't have thought so. So which way are you seeing it?
No, I think he's most probably the class horse in the race. He's got the weight to prove that, him and Neil's horse. So all depends how this win plays. If he can get a nice, easy lead, he'll be hard to beat. But the other one hit the line really good. So normally a bit of a jump when you go from a Class 2 to a 58, but she won quite impressive. So a mile's testing for her where he's raced over it. So if I was having a bet, I'd most probably back the 2, no whispering, because I think the other one just hasn't been proven over the mile. Doesn't mean she can't beat it.
What has she shown you behind the scenes to suggest that maybe the mile will be her go moving forward?
She doesn't really travel that well in her races, so you've always up her a little bit. So we thought maybe putting her into the mile, she'll travel that a little bit better because they don't go as hard. If she does, if that is the answer, well, I think she'll be really hard to beat.
Now, you touched upon the conditions with the breeze. Can you just give us a little bit of an insight in regards to what the conditions are like today and how that generally results in the track playing?
Well, it's a bit different breeze to what we normally get here, so it's a bit hard to work out what it's going to do, and it's quite swirly. So the first one, a leader run, but that was a terrific ride. He caught them all napping at the 800, and they were all asleep, so he won it quite easily. But yeah, if you're looking at the flags now, it looks like it's a leader's breeze, and if you look at it a couple of minutes later, it's a back marker, so I can't tell you.
Well, I know you're pretty free today, so we might get you on a few times, and you can maybe take Scott's job a little later this afternoon.
Wouldn't be hard, would it?
Wouldn't it be hard? Thanks for your time.
Thanks, mate.
There's Peter Fernie with a word on a couple of chances here in the second, and also an interesting insight in regards to the way the track might play here this afternoon. The next horse we'll take a look at is the 4, Floppy, for Helen Harding and Steve Barnum.
Had 3 runs back this time in, beaten 4 Cocoon Bay, the same race. 1 more for Leo was beaten a half, and No Whispering was beaten ahead, and since then was beaten 4.5 uncompromised. Most recently looked very one-paced when beaten 7.5 by Secret Attraction.
You sound a bit flat. The 5 is Queen Nardi, Adam Durant, Clint Johnson Porter.
I'm actually up and about because it'll mean he'll stop calling me if he thinks I've got no idea. He spams me every time there's Kalgoorlie Fields. Which race do I go to? No, but Queen Nardi here, Lock. 2J Cup last start, was beaten 3 1/4 by Zaza Rock when ridden by Clint's younger brother Zephyr. So the claiming apprentice is replaced by the senior, and we'll probably get last crack at them.
And here is our favourite. That's the 6, Lucky Lily, out to the mile for Peter Fernie and Tash Faithfull.
Last start was emphatic. The money was around big time for this mare, and she didn't let her supporters down. She drew barrier 1 like she does here. She sat in the box seat like she probably does here, and she put away a pretty moderate class 2 field, but by a space, 2 3/4. Really impressive, really soft. Has some big names in the ownership too.
All right, let's have a look at this market ahead of race number 2 here at Kalgoorlie, where our favourite is Lucky Lily, $2.80 into $2.40. No Whispering, $3.50 out to $4.40, back into $3.50 now. He's on the second line. Queen Nardi, she's $4.20 into $3.90. One More for Leo has been easy, $4 out to $6. Irritable Rodney, $10 out to $16. And Floppy has been friendless in this market, is now out to 50 to 1. Scott, how do you order the 4 in race number 2?
2, 3, 6 and 5. 2 for me. No Whispering. I think Lucy can find the front here, control and dictate to them, and in the small field, hopefully be off and gone by the time they reach the top of the corner. 3, One More for Leo. I'm going to back in that Secret Attraction form. They both come through the same last 2 races behind that very much in-form mare, so I'm going to go that way in terms of a form reference. 2 from 3. 6, Lucky Lily. Really impressive last start winner, but only in a class 2 and against horses that would probably find these way too tough. And 5 in Queen Nardi, forgiving of the run over the 1850, second up into the 2J Cup. Maybe it was a stretch too far. She wasn't disgraced in last year's WA Oaks, and prior to that had pretty solid form at Geraldton, which is similar form lines to a race like this. 2, 3, 6 and 5, but in a race with only 1 speed influence, always happy to back the leader.
2, No Whispering on top for Scott in race number 2 here at the KBRC. He's on the second line of betting at $3.40 behind the stablemate in Lucky Lily. Scott thinks No Whispering is the way to go. So does Peter Fernie. So interesting in the sense that this market favours Lucky Lily, an impressive last start winner, but does need to step out to the mile for the first time. Scott, what do we do with this track? If No Whispering hopefully leads all the way and salutes here in race number 2, what do we do, and how do we assess the conditions with 2 races run and 1 and 2 leaders potentially have won?
Well, I think the point about the wind here, Lockie, is it is swirling. It hasn't decided which way it wants to blow yet. If you look at that flag right now, it's almost non-existent. So it's just from moment to moment and minute to minute, it's changing here. So I think we can take our time and try and work it out later on in the program.
And as the fields get bigger later on this afternoon, that's when the tempo really gets injected into these races. Obviously, as Peter outlined, Sean McGrady controlled the speed in the opener aboard Mungo Jerry, and in a field of 6, I doubt they're setting any records here, but you compare that to later on in the day where we have some bigger fields, races with a little more tempo. Therefore, we might see horses make some ground. So
we're probably also getting through the entire first early quaddie without really knowing, because the next 2 races are both maidens, and you don't normally take a whole lot out of track pattern from the maiden runners, Lockie. So we're probably going to get halfway through the program and not know a whole lot more than what we do now.
Great. Sounds great. Scott is with No Whispering here, hopefully to lead all the way in the TABtouch Handicap race number 2 here at Kalgoorlie. He is on the second line of betting at $3.40. Lucky Lily is at $2.65. Who is your favourite? Queen Nardi, $4.20 into $3.90. One More for Leo, $4 out to $6 with Irritable Rodney and Floppy, the outsiders of the field. But Scott is with No Whispering as we hand you upstairs to Darren McCauley for the call of the TABtouch Handicap. TABtouch Handicap race number 2 here at Kalgoorlie. He is on the second line of betting at $3.40.
Now runners are starting to move in.
Who is your favourite? Queen Nardi, $4.20 into $3.90. One More for Leo, $4 out to $6 with Irritable Rodney and Floppy, the outsiders of the field. But Scott is with No Whispering.
Now they have started moving in. Floppy, No Whispering. No Whispering goes up, joins Floppy. Lucky Lily. 260 about Lucky Lily. She's pushed out late here in the market. Over No Whispering, the stablemate at $3.40 and Queen Nardi at $3.70. One More for Leo on the next line of the market at $6. In goes Irritable Rodney, and now here comes One More for Leo. So the field is almost set. Started going down to the ladder. Red light is on. Race 2 here on TABtouch, Hannans Handicap Day. Lucky Lily runs the favourite. One More for Leo is about to complete the line. They're almost set. 6 running. All clear has been given from behind the gates. They're off and missing the start. Irritable Rodney. It was very slow to get going, and the first to jump away, No Whispering. So Fiore's going to dictate terms in the early stages of proceedings. Over Queen Nardi, Lucky Lily, and they're up running fourth is Floppy, followed by Irritable Rodney, and dropping out last is One More for Leo. No Whispering takes them over into the back of the course and leads the way, doing it very comfortably. 1200 left to go. No Whispering by 2 on Queen Nardi. Lucky Lily down on the inside, the favourite third. A length away, Floppy, being followed then by Irritable Rodney, and spotting them all back at the tail end of the field is One More for Leo, about 5 lengths off the pacemaker, who wants to go, but Lucy Fiore is quite content to try and hold it together. And as they work off the far corner at the 800 metre mark, it's No Whispering still by that clear margin, 2 lengths over Queen Nardi. Over on the inside to Lucky Lily, being heeled along by Faithfull. Over on the outside, Floppy about to extend and come 3 deep. On its back, One More for Leo, who's got Irritable Rodney tucked up down on its inside in a very much bunched up field. No Whispering got a good breather at the 400 metre marker. No Whispering, and Lucy's about to let it roll, led by a length and a half. Queen Nardi, Floppy with a dash around them in the turquoise colours, getting up near the inside. Lucky Lily at the top of the straight, followed by One More for Leo, and back behind them is Irritable Rodney at the 250. No Whispering now tested in front as Lucky Lily comes off the heels. One More for Leo joins in. One More for Leo, Lucky Lily coming back. No Whispering. One More for Leo and Lucky Lily. Lucky Lily doing too well. Lucky Lily saved every inch of ground and was a little too good for One More for Leo and Queen Nardi, and they beat off No Whispering. In behind them is Irritable Rodney, and last home is Floppy. Waiting for the numbers here after the running of race number 2, but Lucky Lily, terrific ride by Tash Faithfull, drew one, but she was hemmed away. She got locked up in a zip fastener, and she didn't have a lot of room to get the favourite off heels. And the Santos mare almost delicately coming away from the back of No Whispering when the runs were coming from One More for Leo, and Queen Nardi was still there battling, and Tash Faithfull was able to get through and get off the back of No Whispering, who was able to dictate the terms of the stablemate. But Lucky Lily has proven too good. We wait for the numbers here after the running of the second for the day. Lucky Lily, though, you'll find has got the money. We wait for the full list of the placings here. The photo finish camera has gone down, unfortunately, through the running of the race. They are having a couple of technical issues in regards to that, so it's close for the minor numbers. One More for Leo, Queen Nardi the middle. They're the 2 in it for second, and back behind those No Whispering. But Lucky Lily by Santos out of Happy Pilgrim for T. Scott, D. Sheehan, K. Blackburn, A. Scott, prepared by Peter Fernie and ridden by Tash Faithfull, has won from either One More for Leo, a Star Turn Gelding, prepared by Brett Drury, Brad Parnham. Queen Nardi is by Adelaide from Demon Queen. Clint Johnston Porter in the saddle for the Adam Durant stable. So Judge Ben Williamson having to hightail it down to the steward's room here to get a better look at the photo result for the minor placings. But there's no doubt about the winner, Lucky Lily, and we'll be down there with our team, including Lockie Taylor, in just a couple of moments' time. The third event today, the built by Jeff Maiden over 1,100 metres. There is a field of 10. Kesh Duran's the rider for number 4 in gun midfielder. So as we wait for the official placings to be confirmed, particularly second and third, let's go down and join the winning owners and trainer, of course, of Lucky Lily. Pete Fernie's down there, and here's Lockie.
Thanks, Darren. We'll confirm those interim numbers in just a moment, but I'm catching up with winning trainer in Peter Fernie now. Pete, pre-race, we spoke about the fact that Lucky Lily, she hasn't really been travelling in her races. How did you view the way she travelled here this afternoon?
Most probably exactly the same. She was off the bridle at the 800, and Tash come back and said, I think she'll get further again. So it's interesting. I think she will go to tip her out now. She's done a big job this prep, and we found that she can stay. So it's up to Dave and that what they do with her next, but I think she's going to be a handy little horse next prep.
What have you made of her preparation thus far? Obviously, perhaps heading to the paddock after today, but has she improved with more racing?
Yeah, I think getting her over more ground. She was just struggling trying to keep in touch with them and put a set of blinkers on her instead of the advisors. I think she's going to be a horse that can get up over 1760. If she gets any further, then that's a bonus. But I think they're going to have a lot of fun with her, whatever they do with her.
Big team of horses as always here at the KBRC. Who's the best of the remaining however many you have to saddle up?
No, well, I most probably put everyone on the bum steer then. Lucy stuffed it up. No, I don't know, Scott. It's a hard day today.
Scott, Lockie.
Well, you look the same. Both a bit feminine. No, I don't mind Evelina. I think she's a really good chance.
Sounds like a plan. Well done here.
Thanks, mate.
There's Peter Fernie, and here's Scott Embry. Peter just called me Scott. How do you feel about that?
Well, I copped it from Jerry Stelmack, called me Lockie on Sunday at Bunbury, so we'll call it square. Tash Faithfull joins me now. Tash, as Peter was saying, she's a mare that doesn't really travel that well.
No, she doesn't. She was slightly better today, stepping up to the 1600, but yeah, if you're riding her and running and you didn't know her, you think you're in a bit of trouble.
And probably if you didn't know her, you'd almost give up on her, because then she finds that second wind out of nowhere.
Yeah, you would. I think you just got to find that happy medium with her. You don't want to push her out of her comfort zone, but you sort of got to cuddle her up a bit and then sort of get into her and ask the question. But I was really happy with her today. When that little gap comes, she really kicked through it.
So she probably goes to the paddock now, Peter was saying. If your feedback to the owners, what do they learn from this first preparation with her?
Oh, I think she's going to end up a really nice stayer. You know, she's progressed so much just in like 3 or 4 runs. So can only imagine once the spelling comes back, she's going to be a nice little mare.
Hannans been a good race to you. What about Star Align today?
Yeah, he was a super run the other day. He carried the 62, so he gets down to the 54. So I think with a good draw, he's a sneaky chance.
Congratulations, go well.
Thank you.
There's Tash Faithfull combining with Peter Fernie and Lucky Lily. First time winning at the mile, but looks like Peter Fernie and Connections could have a nice staying mare on their hands. She takes out the second here at Kalgoorlie, the TABtouch Handicap. On the other side of the break, we'll see a Kalgoorlie legend in Rodney Kemp and a feature story on the Hall of Famer.